Hello everyone, welcome to College Dunia Study Abroad. My name is Anshika and today I'm going to talk about the taxes in the United States as an F1 student. So this is general knowledge that I have from my experience. Everybody's situation is different, so something might apply to you or some won't. I'll tell you a little bit of the basics. Why is it important to file a tax in the US? So you might get a refund due to India's tax treaty, or maybe you have earned a minimum wage in the US and you can get a refund then as well. You don't need to file the taxes. Also, there are visa obligations to file the tax, so you should definitely keep your records clean. And you might owe money to the IRS also, so it's important to keep track of everything and keep everything safe. So, as an F1 student in the United States, we are non-resident aliens, which is for tax purposes. And 5 years from when you enter the United States, you are considered as a non-resident alien. So, if we are within the 5 year time frame from coming to India, we will file the 1040 NR tax form. So, talking about the income. So India has an income tax treaty with the US. Income from outside US is not taxed. That is the tuition, the living expense you're getting from India will not be taxed. Any income that you get by a campus job or assistantship, CPT, OPT or investments that you do is completely taxable. So जैसे इंडिया में होता था आपके paycheck से tax कटेगा. So there might be certain deductions जो आप जिस slab में lie करते हो उस you have to pay IRS money or you might get money back. So, दो टाइप के taxes होते हैं US में, federal and state. Federal remains the same throughout the US and state tax varies depending on which state you are in. So some states like Washington, Texas, Florida, they do not have a state income tax, so you do not need to worry about that. And दोनों का filing separate होता है. It's not within the same forms. There are different forms for each one of them. So a lot of people say that you didn't work in the US. Do I still need to file the taxes? So everybody has to file a tax. Even if you've earned, you have not earned, it doesn't matter. Because you're on a visa obligation, if you do not earn salary, you have to file the form 8843. The form is pretty straightforward. You report your visa, passport, and the number of days that you were in the US for the tax year. And people who have income have to file the 1040 NR, where NR stands for non-resident. So for each income on campus, there are taxes withheld. And there's a summary kind of report, which is reported in the W-2 document. So you have to keep track of every W-2 that you get. So for one tax year, from January to December, you would have been with various employers. You have to make sure that you collect the W-2s from each one of them and upload all of them when you file your taxes. So if you've invested in stocks from Robinhood, there is more paperwork involved, but you have to report them and fill the taxes on them as well. So there are some common mistakes to avoid. A lot of students in my batch also did. So you should not use TurboTax or HR Block. You should check the website which says for residents or citizens. Definitely they will show more returns. Even though you're not eligible, you will get some money back, but it's wrong and you would have to amend it later. This might create future problems when you apply for visa change. So the application that I used was Sprintex. It was a college recommended app for us. So my college provided a discount code. This is pretty straightforward. The app is easy. The website is easy to navigate. There's also a chat bot where you can, if you have any questions, you can just simply ask them your questions. And Sprintex was my go-to when my college was paying for it. Also for state tax, I paid separately. The federal tax has no fee when you use Sprintex from the code given by your university, but the state tax has to be filed separately. Also, you can do it on your own. You don't need to use any website for this, but then it's a pretty complicated form, and to make it easier, you get all these kinds of tools. Also, you won't need an immigration lawyer for this. This process is straightforward. Once you know how to do it, it's easy. So another mistake is that a lot of students who are on OPT or CPT have their FICA taxes cut from their salary, which is the Medicare tax and the SSN tax. So it should not be withheld if you're on OPT. So most employers cut it. When my internship started, on the first month I had these deductions on my paycheck, and it was my duty to ask my payroll department or my HR to tell them and inform them that I'm not on H1B, I'm still on OPT, so this should not be deducted from my income. And yeah, it's your responsibility to do that. So just to give an idea of how much federal tax you'll be paying, any income above the standard tax deduction will be taxed in the federal tax. So for my 2022 year, so the tax year goes as my deadline was around June, and so from financial year from Jan 2021 to December 21, I had to file the taxes, report all of them in the 2022 filing year. So the standard tax deduction was $12,950, and any income above this was taxed for me. This amount changes every year, and depending on the federal tax bracket which you fall into, you will file a specific number of tax, and there's a standard tax rate for each state. It doesn't change. It's not dependent on on how much you earn. So you can directly search for whichever state you're looking to go and search the state tax rate, and you will find it. So federal tax, when I filled it, I e-filed it. There's an option to e-file or maybe post it, and e-filing is easy because you don't have to sign and post, and you don't have to care about when it reaches. It's straightforward, and for e-filing option, it's quicker as well. And for the state tax, you would need to post it via USPS. That's the only verified post that you should use for the state tax. You have to sign those papers, attach your W-2s or any other documents that you have. There's also a 1042S document to indicate income you earn from the college, except of your work. And you have to sign those documents and send them to the given address for your state. And there is a direct refund to your account, or you get a check for your refund within 30 or 60 days period. And if you don't get it, then it's good to contact the IRS to see where your return is. So for the first year, I just worked from August to December on an on-campus job. I got most of my federal tax back because I was not earning more than $12,000. And in the next year, I had to give something to the state as well. Although I worked in Washington State for my summer internships, but then if I was considered a resident of the Virginia State, I had to pay taxes to Virginia State for my salary earned in Washington State as well. So there's a time period. If you stay in that state for more than the defined period, you're considered a resident of that state. So you have to pay your state taxes irrespective. And federal tax, I got a return for the federal tax this year, which was approximately $2,000. So you should always file your taxes. You can get back your money which you've earned through the taxes. So if you have any questions, just let us know in the comments and we'll address them. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.